Welcome back.
Welcome back.
What are you doing right now? You said no. Welcome back, everyone, to the remainder here of Grand Platypus Open number 93. We are near the tail end. We have 3 matches to go. We have the upper bracket finals, the lower bracket finals, and the grand finals as well. I am no longer alone. I'm joined by a fellow Cranky Duckling, by the one, the only, the Yaku of the Zaku.
Quack.
A quack.
I don't remember what the sound that platypuses make. It's kind of like a... something like that? Yes. Hello. We are gonna jump into things, I suppose, here in the upper bracket finals. It is, of course, the ZvZ, but not the ZvZ that I was expecting personally. I mean, you just don't get to see these two against each other too often anymore. We're here on Dragon Scales. We're in the bottom right-hand corner of the map, spawning all the way. In the bottom right-hand corner, we have our blue Zerg player, representing the Juggernaut from the land of Hong Kong, the best player from all of Hong Kong, now in a lab. That's canon. He is playing from the lab right now. He is GogojOey.
And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have the Indian Zerg player representing Matcherino Esports. It is Demi. Yeah, it's great to have you back, Yaku. I know recently you've been on break, so you've had a little bit more time to cast, a little bit more time to drop by the Cranky Ducklings, so I appreciate it, Papi. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Indeed. I'm actually able to have a decent sleep schedule again now, so...
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
Well... time. It simply is.
It's no longer. I mean, time really just doesn't exist anymore, so it doesn't matter, right? It's all about Oliveira.
Exactly. You know, time is over.
Yeah. Sorry. As we are here in the upper bracket finals, I don't know if you were able to tune into too much, but we've already been seeing some pretty interesting results come in. Honmono, he cheesed the hell out of Pez and worked his way through the lower bracket. Likewise, Demi, with an upset, he took down Miyamaika.
Yeah, in a very, very close series from what I saw. Well, close until it wasn't, really. Very close at the start, but then Demi was kind of able to force some aggression out of Miyamaika, defend beautifully well. And from there, it was pretty much smooth sailing for him. So yeah, he's even in the chat right now saying the king has been slain. He is, which is a pretty big monument. You know, Miyamaika has kind of been that thorn in Demi's side for a very, very long time. They've gone back and forth quite a lot when it comes to map score, but when it comes to actual series score, Miyamaika is definitely in the lead. So yeah, being able to take out Miyamaika in pretty convincing fashion, I think it makes me very optimistic for Demi moving forward here. Yeah,
I think what's important to note is that this is a new era for Demi, right? For a long time, you know, he was the king, he was the shark in the sea in between all these other South Korean Zerg players, and, you know, he had his time, especially in 2019, where he was just winning GPOs left and right. Then he kind of took a step back, Miyamaika and GogojOey rose up, and now Demi, he's on a new team. He's on Matcherino Esports. He is streaming pretty regularly nowadays. He's committing quite a lot here to competing. He's improving, and he may be looking to peak in his career, in his skill once again by taking down Miyamaika. Again, a good start.
Yeah, definitely, especially as we get much, much closer to the qualifiers for ESL Masters Winter coming down in a couple of weeks' time. So yeah, it's a pretty good sign for Demi, I would definitely say. GogojOey, meanwhile, we haven't been able to see too much from him. Obviously, he is quite busy with his day job, but I'm glad to see that he is bringing things back to basics a little bit with that Spire play.
Yeah, so we have 2-base lair coming in from both players. They both rush into their lair, which I thought was very interesting. Like minds, they do, great minds, they think alike. And Demi comes in for a scout. He checks the main base. He doesn't check the natural. He misses the Spire. With his own 2-base lair, he's actually going for Roach speed, so very heavy Roach aggression is on the horizon here from Demi. Can he make something happen before the mutas come out, though?
Yeah, there is quite a long period of time between getting the Spire and actually amassing a effective amount of Mutalisks that can really shake things up on the other side of the map. The sooner Demi realizes that GogojOey is going for Spire, the quicker he can really commit to his roach aggression and the more effective it's going to be. But as time ticks on, GogojOey's getting a couple Spine Crawlers, he's getting a couple more Mutalisks. Finally, that Spire has been scouted by Demi. And we'll see if this is too little too late. We are on Dragon Scales, which has a very short rush distance.
Yeah, it really is, but we can see that Demi, it looks like he missed that window. The mutas are already on the way, so Demi, he's making queens, he's throwing down spore crawlers, he may even throw down a Hydra Den at this point as well. No, I do appreciate this. This is a really nice way to actually make use of these roaches without being chased down and hunted down by those mutas.
Yeah, this makes a lot of sense to go for tunneling claws like this. Not only does it allow you to move those roaches around the map without any detection, but it also kind of makes sense. As you were saying, it makes a lot more sense for Demi right now to go into Hydralisk for his main army composition. But with tunneling claws, he can go around and use his roaches for harassment instead.
Yeah, exactly. And there we go. Burrow is on the way. Infestation Pit as well. This is going to be for Hive Tech for eventually Vipers or even just Infestors for Fungals. Before that happens, the mutas are looking for damage. They do dip between the bases. They do find that Infestation Pit.
And immediately it gets cancelled, but Demi is still committed to it. It doesn't matter if it gets scouted or not. Demi knows that the Infestation Pit is an effective, is a useful building to get here. It's very important tech when you're going up against Mutalisks.
Yeah, he cancels and throws it down immediately here on the right-hand side. A little bit more of a safe, secure location. Ling counterattack does get a couple of drone kills, but Demi's able to fend off the Lings for the time being. And I wonder if GogojOey was able to recognize what exactly he saw and the fact that the Roachhorn was researching. I think he missed it because so far there is no detection back at home. There's no way to keep up with roaches. What I will say though is that this Ling harassment though is keeping Demi busy. Oh,
yeah, I'm honestly kind of surprised that the Lings are as effective as they've been so far. Now, if GogojOey wasn't sure what he was up against before, he should suspect something now with that borrowing of the workers. It does keep a lot of Demi's workers alive.
Yeah, so
it was worth it in the end.
Yeah, Burrow has been revealed, as you mentioned, already worth it for Demi. The mutas, they do dive back in. They do get eyes on the would-be Hive, as it is in production. The Queen's going to be able to swat these mutas away, and Demi still hasn't found the breathing room here to be active with his roaches. It looks like because he was forced to reveal his hand, he may just assume that GogojOey now has detection, but the answer is no. Like, there's still no spores back at home. There is potential to be aggressive with these roaches, but for now, Demi is stuck at home.
Yeah, he's being very, very safe and conservative with his roaches. Finally, he is looking to set a couple of them across the map, but he also knows that with the amount of Ling aggression he's faced so far, he's going to have to keep some of his army back home. Demi is being very greedy when it comes to tech, which will mean that he has to play very defensively for now, but if this pays off, it's going to pay off big time. GogojOey is barely looking to get an Infestation Pit right now.
Yeah, exactly. As many as they roll on in, 13 workers are going to be going down. The mutas, they do dive into the main base as well. 15 in total. A lot of economic damage has been done. Demi going for his own counterattack, but for now, he is hurting here. GogojOey doing a great job of just making use of his map control, and the Overseers, they have arrived.
That they have. These roaches were going to be very effective earlier on, but now not so much, as they barely catch the roaches.
Yeah, exactly. Looks like GogojOey, he was watching, he was looking in time, and he's going to be able to keep up with these roaches. They're not going to find too much damage at all. They can maybe pick off the Queen and maybe a couple of drones. We are finding some damage at least.
Yeah, pretty good target firing coming out from Demi. Fortunately, the burrow won't be enough to keep his roaches alive right here, but at the very least, it's something that kept GogojOey on his toes.
Yeah, I mean, it forced the entire army back home, and with that breathing room Demi, he has teched into a Hydra Den. He has a Lurker Den on the way. 2 Vipers are in production as well. If Demi is able to get into Hydra Lurker Viper, that is a better army to work with. But before that happens, GogojOey has arrived. He's trying to focus on that spore, but it won't die.
Yeah, it will not. There are plenty of queens with plenty of energy over there. The Lingbane has gone down, and the Mutalisks are not going to be enough here to really deal with that much queens. Overall, a pretty good trade from Demi, if I do say so myself.
Oh yeah, very good trade here. The Lings, they went down to the Roaches, the Queens, they were able to keep up with the Mutas, and now we have Vipers. They're a little bit vulnerable, but it looks like the Spores are going to be able to cover them for the time being. The spawning pool is under threat. Not the most important tech structure, but Demi's actually pulling the boys away.
Yeah, you don't want to risk getting hit by those glaives.
Yeah, exactly, as he's also going to be harassing across now. The Mutas, they all turn back around. The Lings are having a hard time keeping up with this. Even though GogojOey has a better economy, he has +3 melee on the way, by the way. He already has his own hive, he's working on his ultras. Before they come out, though, we do have a pretty hefty army here already for Demi. He's got the Vipers completely topped up. He's working towards those lurkers.
Yeah, where have I seen this before, Light, where one Zerg player goes for Ultralist and they run into a choke point that's full of lurkers underneath them? Quite a few times, and it never really works out well for them.
Exactly. I guess it's going to depend on like the positioning and how many lurkers we have. For the time being, we don't have any lurkers yet, but as you mentioned, we're going to need a lot to deal with these ultras, and they can be very effective if we have enough of them in position. Otherwise, there is maybe an opportunity here for GogojOey, as he does have 3 ultras on the way. At the same time, 3 lurkers are on the way.
I think what you said makes a lot of sense there. Ultralists, of course, are very, very mobile units. It's going to take a lot of lurkers here for Demi to really cover all of his bases right now. Who's to say that GogojOey won't just see the first volley of lurker spines and then go somewhere else with his ultralists?
Yeah, exactly. It is possible. It is possible, especially with Demi being stuck and contained to 3 bases. He just hasn't been able to expand and take another hatchery yet, as GogojOey is working on his 5th. Meanwhile, Roach counterattack gets cleaned up, and at least again, it does keep GogojOey busy while we have more Hydras on the way. 5 more lurkers in production. The Hive upgrades are upon us. A bit of a Link Scout does confirm the lurkers, so GogojOey is fully aware of what's happening, and he is not stopping with the Ultra production. He's getting quite a lot of Ultras.
Yeah, interesting move earlier on when the Roach Assault was happening. GogojOey actually rallied his Ultralist towards the Roaches, but then pulled away right at the last second, not wanting to reveal his hand. I'm not sure if Demi was able to catch the wind of the fact that GogojOey is going for the Ultras yet, but we'll see if it matters in the end. Huge pickup here for GogojOey if he can get the Hydra Den, and especially if he can get the Lurker Den.
Exactly. At the same time, we do have big power bombs on these Mutas. The split not quite good enough, and these Mutas are getting very low, but they get the Hydra Den. Oh my god!
They do get the Hydra Den, but unfortunately, GogojOey just wasn't really taking that power bomb seriously. That or he was preoccupied elsewhere. He was able to force a cancel on that 4th base, so overall I do think that GogojOey still made it out of this with the net positive, forcing Demi to be contained once again on not even 3 bases at this point, really. 2.5 bases.
Yeah, exactly. As he's running out of money, running out of mineral patches. As you mentioned, GogojOey, I do think he could have killed this Lurker Den, but I mean, we have a backup Lurker Den on the way anyway. Like, you know, Demi, he wasn't going to be slowed down too much, as we don't have a Hydra Den. That has not been
I was
down.
about to say.
Yeah.
Did he throw that down before the Hydra Den fell?
Yes, yeah, as it was being attacked. Yeah, he threw it down.
Made sense.
Yeah. He threw down the Lurker Den because he thought that Lurker Den was gonna die, but then we saw GogojOey switch over to the Hydra Den instead. So hopefully Demi does recognize that soon, because what you see is what you get, and we won't be seeing any more Hydras until Demi realizes that he is missing that tech.
Yeah, Zerg buildings need to be able to digi-devolve. Or just devolve, really.
Okay.
I guess it doesn't matter anymore because Lurker Dens aren't an upgrade at Hydra Den anymore, but...
Yeah, there you go. Feels nerfed, man. So we do see a massive Ultra army here rocking up good power bombs on the detection, I should say. Even, covering some of the Vipers.
Ooh, yeah. Vipers already taking a lot of damage, all of them, down to half health. GogojOey has to be even more careful than he otherwise has to be with these Vipers. Vipers are really the key right now for GogojOey breaking Demi's siege line. You know, these blinding clouds can make a whole world of difference, like so.
And here we go, the Blinding Clouds are throwing down, the Ultras are diving on in, but there are so many lurkers. They're going ham here on said Ultras, but it looks like the Ultras are pushing through, at least towards the north. Uh-oh.
Yeah, slightly. A couple of them do grab aggro to the rest of the lurkers, though, and that is not where you want to fight at all. If you're GogojOey, GogojOey just lost a whole ton of Ultralists, taking out a decent amount of lurkers of Demi, obviously, and because Demi doesn't have a Hydra, then he can't actually recreate those. He can't actually replace those lurkers quite yet.
Yeah, there we go. Demi, he realizes what's happening. He throws down the Hydra, but he needs time to rebuild those lurkers. Meanwhile, it was almost a 1-to-1 trade. It was 10 lurkers for 7 Ultras. And that's dangerous, right? Because GogojOey has remaxed, and Demi, he needs time to remax. He has to rebuild the Hydra, then rebuild the Hydras, and then morph in the lurkers as well. And in that time, GogojOey, he's going to be going for another attack.
Yeah, to be honest though, lad, I'm not even sure if time is the biggest of Demi's worries right now. Look at the income disparity between the two of them. Demi is really struggling to get a bank right now. He can probably remax with Hydras, but will he have enough minerals and gas to turn them all to lurkers?
Yeah, that's definitely a good question here, as Demi needs to expand. He needs another one of these bases. GogojOey he's checking. He's looking for any bases that are being taken. And Demi, unfortunately, just hasn't really been able to find the room to do so. Not yet. I think he's just waiting for more of these lurkers, and then he can try to spread himself out a little bit thinner, and to be able to actually establish some of these bases.
Yeah, you need to make sure you're able to defend your base as you take it. Up, slow and steady here from Demi, but slow and steady might just be what GogojOey needs right now. A lot of Vipers are going down, so this is already a pretty good start for Demi, but I think enough Blinding Clouds were thrown down here that GogojOey can actually push through. Maybe not.
Yeah, it looks like no detection. The Overseers were sniped, and the Ultras have to back off. They could not get on top of these lurkers, and I don't know if I like this from Demi. Demi, he's not rebuilding Hydras and lurkers. He's going into roaches.
Well, yeah, definitely not going to be as effective as the lurkers. But again, looking at the actual resource situation of Demi right now, it may just be more cost effective. It looks like his plan here is to just get a whole bunch of roaches to try to put a dent in GogojOey's economy, buy himself a little bit more breathing room, while he slowly builds up a Hydra Lurker army once again.
Yeah, as you were pointing out earlier, like GogojOey, he's up 20 workers. He has a better economy. He can remax time and time again. He has a 5k mineral bank, which isn't the most important. It's all about the gas, but he has a lot of gas income as well. So Demi has to try to make some moves happen. And here we go. He does rock up towards the bottom left-hand corner. There are a lot of spine crawlers, but he can focus on the hatchery.
Yeah, and that's all he really needs to do right here. There's no detection, so once again, he just burrows and gets out of here.
Up.
Now there's detection, though. Uh-oh.
Detection has arrived. Big transfuse on that hatchery. It looks like these roaches are going to be hunted down at the same time. The base on the top right-hand corner is being defended, so Demi's going to be able to get away with at least that base, and the roaches, they find their way into the main.
Yeah, they're doing such a good job of pulling GogojOey back all the way. Demi's going to be able to fortify that base at the top right more and more while this is all going on.
Yeah, he will. This main base is looking so bare bones. It looks really weird, right? Like it's just.
But that's a hatchery and not a lair or a hive.
Yeah.
There's only one spawning pool there. There's literally no other building.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of larvae. There's not even a queen injecting over there.
It just feels naked. It feels like
all these.
Like someone came in and took everything.
They're abandoned. Yeah.
Oh god.
Queen abandoned their children.
Feels bad, man. Feels bad. As we do see GogojOey just mustering up his army. He's up 50 supply at this point. Vipers have arrived for those abductions, all those blinding clouds, and again, I just don't think Demi has enough to hold on. He doesn't have the money. He just can't remax.
Yeah, the big thing is that if Demi can actually survive this, and he's going to be in a decent position, but that's a very big if, right? I mean, already he's forced to give up that 5th base, and GogojOey's lagging behind a little bit with his Vipers, so Demi will be able to push him back, but he already lost his freshest mining base, so already this is a pretty good victory for GogojOey, despite the fact that he lost an Ultralisk or two.
Yeah, exactly. Like GogojOey just containing Demi here to 4 bases is all he really needs to do. There is a lurker going for a counter attack, but GogojOey is able to keep up here, is able to eventually hunt down said lurker. And yeah, Demi, even time right now isn't going to be a factor here. He needs a base. He needs to get one of these hatcheries up and running, but every time he tries to, GogojOey, he's there to stop it.
Yeah, I do like the promise here. This does look kind of promising here for Demi, though. He moves a whole bunch of his lurkers towards this 4th base location.
And he is in position, and a lot of damage is being done, but once again, we do have the blinding clouds being thrown down.
Yeah, often you don't want to be bunching up your Ultralists against lurkers, but I guess in this... Like, this is one scenario where you also don't want to be bunching up your lurkers, right? That just allows the blinding clouds to be more effective. It allows the Ultralists to just hug the lurkers a little bit better.
Exactly. So Demi, he does have to be very careful with the positioning of his lurkers. Looks like one lurker across the map was harassing, but it does get cleaned up, and GogojOey has been losing a couple of workers here and there, but he's still able to regain control of his bases. Again, slow and steady here from Joey, just knocking down base after base. The lurker density is getting pretty high though, but yeah, it's gonna be a while.
It really is. Yeah, I was gonna say, this little bits of harass from Demi, they can add up, but then I noticed GogojOey was actually replacing his workers. He's not neglecting that aspect at all.
Yeah, exactly. The workers have been taken. Demi, though, just turtling on up, and Yaku, you don't have anything planned later on tonight, right? You look.
Only much later on tonight.
Oh,
I have time. It's fine. I ate.
Okay.
It's good. It's fine.
Okay, well, here we go. We have GogojOey diving in once again into this massive spore forest and lurkers as well. Big blinding clouds covering everything, but the lurkers, they reposition.
They do reposition, and GogojOey just suicided pretty much all of his Vipers here. Cleared up some of the Spore Crawlers, but that hatchery is still being built. Demi now senses a moment of weakness here from GogojOey. He is going all across the map with every single lurker he has. He knows that GogojOey's Ultralists are going to be pretty useless without Viper support, and it is going to take him a very long time to get Vipers with energy once again.
Yeah, and here we go. The bases are going down. Demi, he's going to be able to crack the natural base as well, and there's nothing that GogojOey can do. As you mentioned, too wasteful. Far too wasteful, just diving into that position where the lurkers were pre-positioned, where there were spore crawlers as well, and GogojOey, he lost everything.
And now he's trying to go for a bit of a pseudo base trade with his Ultralists across the map. Not the worst idea here from GogojOey, if I'm being honest. I mean, he does have more bases, he does have more buildings. If he wants to try to force the elimination kill, but there are already a couple lurkers back home for Demi. He didn't neglect that at all. Huge switch into Mutas now, though.
Yeah, we have a Mutas switch, but we have other power bombs, and we need to split, Pop. We need to split. If we can split, then Mutas will kill everything. Very little does shoot down. Sorry, very little shoots up. Everything shoots down for GogojOey.
And it looks like the splits weren't quite the best, but they were good enough, evidently.
Yeah, a lot of damage was done to those Mutas, but they chase back the lurkers. We do see the spores are coming into play. Oh, these Mutas are very battered. They're very bruised. They're going to try and go toe-to-toe with this army, and it looks like they can barely take down these spores.
Yeah, but what about the rest of the spore crawlers? It looks like we have a critical mass of Mutalisks, but like you said, these Mutalisks are very, very low. They pretty much die in 2 hits by the spore crawlers.
Yeah, exactly. And as a result, Demi, he gets away with a 5th base. Has a good economy. GogojOey, he does have bases, but he doesn't have any workers. He barely has any.
Yeah, I was going to say, Demi, very impressive, is able to take a 6th base, but then I realized, wait a minute, that color isn't red. That's just GogojOey's base on Demi's side of the map.
You're like, he took another base. He's crazy. I'm like, oh, wait, no, never mind. It's GogojOey with a very forward hatchery instead. He is committing here to the mass muta. He dives into the main base. How many Vipers do we have? It looks like Demi, he has 2 Vipers to his name. These are the only 2 Vipers. They need time to regenerate those, or that shield, that energy, sorry.
Yeah, shields, the energy, the health, the income question mark. I don't know what else do you generate. Wealth, hair. Yes.
I feel like yeah, you're not wrong. I mean, some of us generate hair, others not so much. Especially under their nose.
The rest of us can only go for what?
Oh. Smooch. Do they have are beard transplants a thing? Is that
they are? They're also like $20,000.
Oh my god. Okay. As we see Demi pushing him forward, this time with Hydras and those two Vipers. He has anti-air, he bullies GogojOey back, and Demi will take control of this base, punishing GogojOey for trying to take one of his own bases.
Yeah, but meanwhile over here on the other side of the map, Demi does leave himself a little bit vulnerable. It's not the most important base here for Demi, so it's not... So that base going down is kind of acceptable, I would say, for now, but yeah, hopefully that doesn't repeat too many more times as the game continues.
Yeah, it's a little bit expendable, right? It's where he can afford to lose a said base, as long as he's able to hold on to these fresh mining bases. Meanwhile, we do see GogojOey dipping in once again with the mutas. He's looking for the Viper. He gets one!
And once again, Demi is being very conservative with his Viper production. Every spellcaster that goes down here is going to hurt him that much more.
It's
And
really...
he's very much out of gas.
Yeah, he is running out of gas, but he's also taking a base here, so hopefully if he gets this up and running, he'll be able to take control of those gases as soon as they come back in. Ooh, a rough trade for GogojOey as he does lose a couple of mutas here to the Spores and to the Vipers, sorry, to the Hydras.
Yeah, underestimating or overestimating the, no, underestimating, yes. Wait, no, over? No, underestimating the effectiveness of the Hydralisk here is GogojOey. He overestimated his own mutas count. I think where my train was going in my mind, but
train, it went somewhere. It went, yeah. Have been on a train in a long time.
It went somewhere that wasn't even on the map.
Oh god, as we do see, Lurker is going to get picked off here. This is dangerous again. Every unit matters so much in this situation here, in this low econ situation for both players, to be fair. As GogojOey, he's going back into Ultra production. He did lose his natural earlier, if you recall, and all of his tech was there, so he couldn't actually make any more Ultras. Well, but now he can. Well, soon he can.
Yeah, I'm not sure how many Ultras he's going to be able to build, though, as... You know, GogojOey's bank is starting to run out. He is slowly but surely getting beaten back by Demi, being contained by Demi. Really turning the tables here, but huge link counterattack by GogojOey is going to be able to get some of the tech here.
Yeah, he takes down a Lurker. He could even go for the Lurker. Yeah, he's going for the Lurker and going for the Hydras as well. At the same time, the mutas do get caught out by the Hydras of Demi in the center of the map. GogojOey has to back off. He had a large bank, though. Did use all of his minerals, but we have 5 Ultras on the way.
We do, but how are we when it comes to the Viper count here for GogojOey? Again, Ultralisks are great, especially against Hydralisks, but they're pretty useless against the Lurkers who have Blinding Cloud. Pretty good against Lurkers when they catch them and borrow, though.
Yeah, exactly what we need. Detection. There we go. The Overseers are being brought forward. The Vipers are coming up. Blinding Clouds are being thrown down all over the army here of Demi. Is this going to be enough? Can GogojOey clean this up?
And this isn't even a Blinding Cloud at this point. This is a Blinding Blanket covering the entire... covering just about everything over there. Demi now down to 3 Lurkers, and it may just be enough. He is starting to remax now on Roaches, which could just be what puts him over the edge. His Roaches are much better upgraded than GogojOey's.
They are bearing in mind that the Lurker Den and the Hydra Den they both got sniped here to that link counterattack, so Demi cannot make Hydras. That's why he's not rebuilding his Lurkers, only making Roaches instead. And Demi has to be very careful because of that. If we go back into muta production, Demi, his anti-air is quite limited.
Yeah, GogojOey may have spent the vast majority of his bank, but his Spire is still standing, surprisingly.
Yeah, it is still standing, and here we go. Once again, Platinum Clouds are thrown down. The Ultras are pushing them forward, but I don't think there's enough. It looks like the Concave is too good. Demi takes down the army. GG gets called.
And Demi will be taking game number 1. GogojOey was far in the lead for the majority of this game, but Demi knew that if he just held wave after wave after wave of Zerg being thrown his way, eventually his lurker count would go up, his Hydra count would go up, and he'd be able to go for a massive counterattack on Dragon Scales to really knock GogojOey's economy down a peg. You know, all he had to do was then repeat that one more time, and eventually he was in a much, much stronger economic and army standing than GogojOey was. Very patient play coming out from Demi. One that I'm honestly not too used to from either of these players, really. I think of them as being the hyper-aggressive right out of the gate. They send all of their units across the map, but yeah, really, really cool to see Demi kind of diversifying his play here, showing that he can play a different style when the need arises.
Definitely, and really showing the tenacity of Demi as well, just because he was behind, right? Like, GogojOey had map control, he was trading better, he was denying bases left and right, he was maxed out at the time. If you recall, Demi, he was down almost 50 supply, but there was that one big fight. There was that one fight that Demi took convincingly and immediately counterattacked as soon as he won that fight. Yeah,
he was down, what, 50 supply and 50 army supply and 20 worker supply?
Yeah.
That's how dire his situation was looking.
It was not looking good for Demi at all, but then the turns did a table. He clawed his way back in, and suddenly Demi has a lead in this series. Can he go the distance? He already took down Miyamika. Can he do the same to GogojOey here? Again, Demi looking very impressive tonight, looking impressive in general. It's great to see that he has been improving, that he has been getting better and better, and 2-0 in GogojOey, that's going to be quite a statement.
Yeah, it really, really will. Yeah, that's when the shark goes on land.
Yeah, that's
legs.
That's when the shark, it grows legs. Yeah. He steps up.
Yeah.
Stands up.
Yeah. It's, hey, everybody. No, that's not the voice.
What?
The King Shark voice. As we continue our series now on Royal Blood, where we're here in the top right-hand corner of the map, starting all the way in the top right-hand corner, we have our red Zerg player coming out from the land of India. He, of course, is going to be representing Matcherino Esports. He is Demi.
And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the blue Zerg player from the land of Hong Kong, the best player in all of Hong Kong. It is GogojOey. Are you talking about King Shark from Suicide Squad?
From Harley Quinn. Yeah. Oh yeah, I guess he was in Suicide Squad too.
Yeah. He has a deep voice, you know that, right?
Well, not the one in Harley Quinn.
I haven't seen the Harley Quinn. Why would they change his voice in the Harley Quinn movie?
Yeah.
Did they change his
also
voice?
was the cartoon.
Oh.
Yeah, they got a different voice actor.
Yaku. God damn it.
It's a different continuity.
They
had different voice actors.
I like how Kura caught on as well. I was gonna bring it up. I like that you know, mate. Beard transplants. That's in your future. That's how you get your beard.
That's in my search history. Yeah.
You're like, yeah, I'm getting Google ads. They know that I want it.
Yeah.
Fair enough. What kind of beard would you want to grow though? What do you?
Ooh.
Do you want a goatee?
Italiano.
Oh, Italiano. Do you want like the swirly mustache?
The swirly mustache with like the pointy beard.
The pointy beard.
Like,
Okay. I wish you the best, yeah.
Mamma mia. Also, I think I described the French beard and mustache and not the Italiano one.
Yeah, I don't know what's okay. Fair enough.
It's like Dark's, but you know, more
What?
pointed.
It's like Dark has a goatee.
Yeah. Wait, what?
What?
No, because Dark like shaves the cheeks, you know, right? Well, no, he doesn't shave the cheeks, but it doesn't grow around the cheeks, you know?
Yeah.
It like grows at the chin, and then he has the
He doesn't have
pointed mustache.
He doesn't connect them?
It doesn't point down. Yeah, he doesn't connect them.
Okay.
I'm thinking like Dark's, but mine will actually spiral.
Out of control.
Well, I know what control looks like right now.
It's true. We haven't seen him in a while. As we do see GogojOey once again going for a roach opener here off of 2 bases. A very fast roach one. He's going to be skipping out on his Bailey nest, but he's actually setting up for a much faster 3rd base instead.
Yeah, not going to be a 2-base lair coming out from him this time. He is still prioritizing +1 melee, which Demi will be able to spot. He knows that Evo chamber in the natural is just for a wall.
Yeah,
and just for show.
This was big brain. This was huge. This was giga brain out of GogojOey to open up 2-base roach, to reveal that, and to go for a hidden +1 melee ling flood behind it. But Demi, he sees it coming. He does manage to sneak into the main base. He has a Bailey nest on the way. We have lings in production as well. Demi is preparing.
He is, and GogojOey is sending a flood of lings across the map. He stopped droning at 35. He has not made a single drone for quite some time. He is very, very committed to this. He needs to, at the very least, cancel a 3rd base, but I'm not sure he's going to be able to do it. Not once a couple of banelings come out here for Demi.
No, I mean, because he got scattered, he knows he got scattered. He's double expanding. He's taking 2 hatcheries right now. He has +1 carapace on the way. It looks like GogojOey, he wants to try to transition out of this eventually. He's going to be buying some time. He's going to try to go for that surround that you were talking about.
Yeah, and this will, at the very least, draw Demi's attention away. The last thing GogojOey wants to do right now is to let up that he is double expanding back home, that he is, that he stopped committing to the Ling Flood, and that he is trying to transition out of this.
Yeah, exactly. Roaches are now in production. Gases are being taken. GogojOey, he did sneak out 1 drone earlier. Oh god! 1 drone earlier, as he has to be very careful not to take that baiting to the face.
Yeah, otherwise the floodgates are open. Demi can just go across the map with all of his lings and all of his banes, and I don't think GogojOey will have much to really stop it. He didn't go for a baneling nest of his own. He is instead working on a roach production. GogojOey still hasn't droned, by the way. He made a couple of roaches. He double expanded, but he hasn't droned just yet. So I'm a little confused, I'm not gonna lie, Light.
Yeah, he's following up into a roach all-in. +1 carapace is about to kick in. He does transfer workers over towards that gas geyser, but he is not making workers, as you mentioned. He is still very committed.
Yeah, these roaches have one job to do, and it's to tank baneling hits and to hopefully snipe banelings as well, but it's going to be a very tough ask here for GogojOey's roaches, I think, especially once they get, especially once the ling buffer gets cleaned out.
Yeah, the lings go down. They did a great job at just holding on, especially with 1-1. The lings, they were doing a great job at just supporting and just buying time for GogojOey. The roach army is getting larger and larger. GogojOey finally going to be droning up at least a little bit, but he still has a terrifying army across the map. He's going to try and break the 3rd once again.
And no more banelings, by the way, for Demi. All he has is all he's got right now, and he cannot afford to spend a little more time to get those banelings, but it looks like the concave is good enough here for Demi. The concave and the defender's advantage, so he will be pushing this back. I don't know about pushing down the ramp, though, but it seems to be working out for him.
Yeah, Demi almost overextending, but he does back off. He still maintains his economic lead. He's been up to almost 50 workers for quite some time, and GogojOey is trying to keep up. He is, like, every now and then he's squeezing in some workers and making lings, making roaches, and a couple more workers as well. He's trying to get back up to a stable economy, but again, he's having a really hard time gaining any value with this army.
Yeah, I mean, it's one thing to contain your opponent on 3 bases, but GogojOey himself isn't that much of a better economy. In fact, his mining income is actually lower because he doesn't have enough workers, because he keeps committing to the attack like this.
Yeah, exactly, and that hatchery is getting a little bit low. You can see there for a moment that GogojOey, he was thinking about surrounding it with these lings. They are +1 melee lings, bear that in mind, so there's a lot of potential in that run by Demi as we take this very seriously as GogojOey is backing off. He's droning up to 49, but he isn't droning up anymore from there. As we can see, again, he's like barely saturating his bases right now as he's working towards his lair. Demi working towards the spire.
Yeah, and that's pretty much going to be GG for GogojOey once the Mutalisks are able to really hit a critical mass and to really take out anything that GogojOey has on the ground here. He has nothing that shoots up, so there is still a pretty big window of opportunity for him to take out that third base and then maybe buy himself a little bit more time to build units and then go all the way into the natural base and the main base, but we'll see. As time goes on, the better it is for Demi.
Yeah, and something really interesting just happened. So Demi, he just scouted this third base, and he saw that it was empty. And if you look at his vision, he actually hasn't seen the real third. Like, so because he saw that the space was empty, he threw down a wall of spine crawlers. He made roaches. He has been spending a lot of gas making roaches because he is expecting GogojOey to go all in. Little does he know that GogojOey has been droning. There's another base, and GogojOey isn't attacking. So as a result, even though Demi has the Spire, it just finished, he doesn't have the gas to make mutas because he was kind of panicking a little bit and just making a wave of roaches instead.
Yeah, wave of roaches, a couple of banelings. Now we can see that Demi is starting to get into his muta production, though. He feels nice and safe with the defenses that he's got. Finally, he will be scouting this base, and he's got to be shaking his head so hard right now. He sees a fully saturated third base over here. And he knows he's been played a little bit.
Yeah, and
now it's time for him to play.
It is, as now he's down in bases. Demi still has the better economy, even though his worker count is lower, he's been mining more for longer. So it's still okay that he's down a base, and we can see he's trying to catch up. But he did miss a window where he could have amassed more mutas, and as a result, he could have done more damage.
Yeah, these lings, or these Mutalisks, sorry, I don't think are going to be able to do too much. It's not that much anti-air across the map for GogojOey, so he can still actually get a lot of drone kills before the first couple of spine crawlers finish up. Spore crawlers, sorry.
Yeah, and the queen goes down. 2 drones fall here at the third base. Spore is done here in the natural, but the mutas are looking for even more damage. And no, so far they're getting a couple of overlords here and there. They are triggering a response out of GogojOey, but no, he does pull back. And Hydras are in production, so GogojOey going Roach Hydra here.
Yeah, almost a bit of a reversal of the previous game that we saw. GogojOey goes into Lurkers, and I suspect Demi might want to go into Ultras. I know he hasn't been getting any melee upgrades whatsoever, but that is the law. He has to go Ultras.
True, that would be the case if he was up against Lurkers, but we don't have any Lurkers yet. And Demi's maxed. He is maxed out on a massive Roach army. He has the upgrade advantage as well. He has +2. Sorry, never mind. GogojOey also finishes up +2 as well, as we do see Demi trying to push into this third.
Something tells me that Demi just doesn't want a repeat of game number 1, and I can't say I blame him. Bile is gonna land on top of a decent chunk of GogojOey's army, but the other Bile is beautifully dodged. Demi gonna be chased back away from here, but you know, he can still afford to lick his wounds a little bit, get a couple more Ravagers, and get ready for round 2.
Yeah, I mean, he took down the Gas Geyser. He got 6 workers as well, so pretty impactful here against GogojOey. And he's remaxing, as you were saying, looking for another attack. At the same time, the mutas are trying to find some more damage. They're trying to pull apart the attention here of GogojOey as Demi is getting into his own Hydra Den. He is not going for Ultras.
Yeah, I guess the Lurkers are the safer bet if he does want to go down that route. Eventually, he is getting a Hive, and this is a very good position for GogojOey to fight. Really great concave, getting a couple of units pretty much for free before Demi could react.
Yeah, these Ravagers are exposed. Again, they were behind the army. It looks like, Biles will zone away GogojOey, taking down one of Demi's own overlords, unfortunately, but he had to do it here to try to hold on. Again, Demi, he's transitioning into Hydras, into Lurkers. Before that happens, GogojOey, he goes for his counterattack.
Yeah, and it looks like GogojOey might just barely have enough critical mass here to really break through the concave. The spine crawlers are not in position to aid in the defense. The defender's advantage is huge right now for Demi. The production will be able to help him reinforce his defenses, and he is chasing back these weakened units, but he knows he took a few too many blows to his army. He needs to spend a couple more seconds rebuilding before he can really go for a counterattack.
Yeah, exactly. Demi, he needs to lick his wounds. He needs to drone and saturate this 4th base. Hive is now done. Vipers are on the way. Lurker Den as well. Demi, he is getting into a more high-quality army. GogojOey, he isn't going into Lurkers. He does have a Hydra Den, yes, but he's just amassing roaches. He wants to try to break Demi while he is mid-transition.
Yeah. Which isn't a terrible move at all. You know, it's going to take a little while before Demi can really reach its final form, and there's a lot of vulnerabilities. And there's a lot of vulnerabilities in the defenses of Demi that he can take advantage of before that happens.
Yeah, as we see
but
a
we'll
queen.
see. Maybe the positioning is good enough for Demi.
Maybe, as we do see GogojOey just trying to head towards that natural base. Does get a bit of a better concave as well. Again, GogojOey was the first player to max out. The Viper has arrived. Do we have a blinding cloud? We do!
Absolutely huge here for Demi. Pretty much neutralizing just about half of GogojOey's army. That was really the main thing he had going for him, was the fact that he had such a big army of roaches.
Yeah, exactly. We do see GogojOey trying to push in once again. The Viper needs a little bit more time for more energy. It looks like the concave is too good. GogojOey is losing too much.
And only now does an infestation pit get thrown down. Only now does GogojOey realize that, yeah, I probably can't keep this up. I need to transition. I need to keep up with the tech of Demi, because otherwise he's just gonna get lurkers and put an end to my day. But we'll see if Demi even needs to get to that stage, because he is maxed out on roaches and he is looking to cause some pain.
Exactly. As you were saying, this is a late transition out of GogojOey, a late Hive, a late Lurker Den, late Vipers. Speaking of, the Vipers have arrived, and again, this changes so much when it comes to the dynamic of these Roach v Roach battles. We see GogojOey sitting up for a surround.
Yeah, and it's looking to be very, very effective. Demi, unfortunately, does not have enough energy for another blinding cloud, and he is just getting completely sandwiched here in the middle of the map.
Yeah, an overextension here from Demi. He's going to pay a massive price for it as he plummets in the supply. He needs to race back home, gather more energy, and GogojOey has momentum going his way. He may just be able to break Demi here and now.
Yeah, we'll see how good the defense advantage is here for Demi. Once again, the spine crawlers aren't actually in position to aid in this defense. Concave is decent, but we don't have a blinding cloud. Now we do, and it's just gonna be enough here for Demi to push this back. He actually thinks about chasing this army, but realizes how many reinforcements are coming his way. So, yeah, it looks like GogojOey just has enough here to break Demi and force us into the ace match.
There it is.
GG is called.
GG does get called, and GogojOey, he fights back. He ends the game before Demi can get into those lurkers, and we have a series.
We have a series of games to be played here. Yes.
We have more of a back and forth. It will not be a 2-0 in either direction. We're going to the ace match instead, and this is coming down to the wire. This is getting very close here between both Demi and GogojOey. Oh boy, this could really go either way.
Yeah, I can really see it going pretty much any which direction right now. We're down to one map, and so far we saw a very, very patient and long game number one that went to the ultra late game. We saw more of a back and forth mid game game number two here. I think for our ace match, we need 12 pools. We need 2 12 pools coming out, just for the symmetry.
Aye. We'll see if that's what we get. As we are looking to dive into, as we are looking to get into our next game, and it looks like our next game is going to be held, our next map, sorry, is going to be held on Ancient Cistern.
Oh, okay.
So of course 12 pool, right?
Yeah. Nobody would suspect it.
Let's go. We are getting some other updates going on as well while we wait for the lobby to be made, but it looks like some of the lower matches have concluded. There was a best of one between Miyamaika and Pez, and it looks like that has ended. Miyamaika took down Pez 1-0.
I should not have doubted Miyamika for a second there. I thought things might be a little bit shaky, and I'm curious. Obviously, it was a best of one, so only one map would be played. But I have to wonder how close that one map was in the end. I imagine pretty close.
Yeah,
You mentioned it earlier in the stream, but Pez, while not as active as in the past, historically has had the best PvZ in all of Australia for quite a while.
Oh yeah, it has been very impressive, and alas, in a best of one, they are very cutthroat. It's very brutal. Only one single game between those two players, and Miyamika will take it 1-0. Hopefully that's not the last we see of Pez. Hopefully we get to see more of him. I've been missing my Pezza Perry in GPOs.
Aha, but you got Tez Terry.
Oh.
As we conclude this best of 3 upper bracket finale here on Ancient Cistern LE. Whoever in the bottom left-hand corner of the map, spotted all the way in the bottom left-hand corner, we have our red Zerg player coming out from the land of India. He is, of course, going to be representing Maturino Esports. He is Demi.
And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Blue Zerg player from the land of Hong Kong, fighting back in that last game, fighting back in this series. It is GogojOey.
And ever since you brought up King Shark, now I'm imagining Demi as King Shark, right? Miyamika as the King of Sea. Naturally, he's Aquaman.
Yeah, Aquaman, yeah.
How does that leave GogojOey?
Are there any apes in the DCEU? Is there?
There's Gorilla. Oh, wait, you said specifically DCEU.
Oh,
I don't know if Gorilla Grodd has made his appearance yet.
No, that's fine. That's fine. Yeah. Well, that would be Beastork, right? Because he's the Kong from Hong Kong.
He's the ape. He's the Kong. Yeah.
Okay, so that works for him. Is there like some Aussie man, like GogojOey? He's the Joey.
Right? Captain Boomerang.
Yeah, there you go.
There we go.
He comes back.
He does. Unlike a stick.
Unlike.
Because a boomerang doesn't come back.
That's sick.
That's right. He went. That's right. He went down to Sydney and then
he went to Malaysia to get some gum, and he never came back.
They caught him on the border, trying to get back. They just left. Yeah, they just kept him there.
Just like my dad. Oh, smooch. There's a startup.
Your dad they caught your dad trying to import Inca Cola.
There you go. There's a Starduck joke in there somewhere. That I left him. It's true, I did.
Did you leave him or did he leave you?
It's true. It's Starduck's fault. It's all his fault. Ay. But unfortunately, no 12 pools. No early pools here from either player. Is it going to be Hatchgas pool into a third base? Actually, the most standard of openers we've seen this entire series, as we have been getting some very early Roach Warrens and very early aggression in general.
Yeah, just a typical double Ling scout coming out from both of our players. Both of them now getting a lot of Lings. I think both of them did scout the painliness of each other, so they didn't want to be playing this quite safe. GogojOey being the aggressor, which is about what I expect here from him, but Demi is taking this very, very seriously. He is getting Banelings of his own.
And here we go, the Banelings are on the way, and we do see the Ling Bane action is upon us. Demi, though, his Banelings are looking quite exposed. We see GogojOey trying to focus them down in the midst of this fight as he does bring in his own Banelings. Yeah, and it looks like when it's all said and done, GogojOey will come out slightly on top. Thankfully for Demi, he actually didn't drone here. Otherwise, he'd be losing a lot of them, but he's still very vulnerable. There's still a lot of damage that his hatchery can take before Demi can really defend it. Yeah, exactly. This hatchery is getting a little bit low, though. These Banelings are going to be zoning away the army. Demi is going for a massive counterattack. It looks like, no, never mind. He's coming in from behind. Instead, he's looking to save this space, and he barely just will.
Like so. Once again, that hatch is still looking very, very vulnerable, but it's alive. It's still going to be able to provide larva. It's still going to be able to provide mining. It's still going to be able to act as a little bit of a launch pad here for Demi as he goes for some counter-aggression of his own.
He does go for a massive counterattack. When you see GogojOey in position, though, he has a couple of Banelings. He has been able to drone up a little bit better as well, as we do see 8 more workers on the way. Roach Warren as well. Both players are going to try and transition out of this Ling Bane phase, but Demi still has no Roach Warren of his own.
Yeah, GogojOey's going to have quite the head start in that regard, but as a result, he's not going to have as good of an economy as Demi focuses much more on droning up. He has now ahead 5 workers, and eventually when his Roach Warren does finish, will be in a bit of a better position to actually get the roaches. GogojOey, I was going to say GogojOey doesn't care, but yeah, now he's actually prioritizing a lair instead of roach production.
Yeah, this is interesting here. The lair is on the way. We just see the Roach Warren from Demi. As you were saying, GogojOey not really making too many roaches. He's just more focused on droning and saturating his bases and getting ahead economically first. So he's not kind of rushing into an attack. He's just looking to get into a better position as the game goes on.
Yeah, so I guess it makes sense. We are an ancient cistern. I thought we would be getting those 12 pools, but apparently not. Yeah. We are going into much more of a stand-up macro game coming out from our players.
Exactly. So you see GogojOey trying to bait out those Banelings. If he can, then he can maybe try and punish this base. I say that just because of how low it is. It's just bleeding out of every single hole right now. Jesus, it's not looking too
Orifice,
good.
Wound, yeah.
Exactly. But it's holding on.
This is fine.
It's fine. This
is fine.
It likes it. It likes it. Yeah.
Yeah. The workers are literally being drenched in blood every time they deposit their minerals, but you know what? It's fine.
It lets Demi know that it's still alive, right? As soon as the blood stops pumping, then we gotta be scared.
Exactly.
As both players are going for spires.
Interesting transition here. It, of course, come down to both the macro and the control. That was a huge pickoff by Demi. That was a kill and not a cancel on that 4th base. Meanwhile, Demi himself, his own 4th base is about halfway done. Demi once again going to be getting a huge delay. The Muta Wars haven't even started yet, and Demi is still coming out very far ahead here, just from the sheer fact that he is able to delay this much mining coming out from GogojOey.
Exactly, just such a great almost comeback here from Demi. It felt like he had a bit of a rougher start early on, but we do see him getting a lot of damage done across the map. The Spire is now done for GogojOey. Likewise, it's about to finish off for Demi as well, as GogojOey will scout and confirm the Spire of Demi.
Yeah, it's a really important heads up here from GogojOey. I think he has recognized, yep, there we go. He is a little bit more delayed when it comes to Muta production, so he's actually just going to be prioritizing an anti-Muta army. He's getting Corruptors, no Spore Crawlers yet, which is a bit of a risk, but yeah, I guess if you get Corruptors, they are basically flying Spore Crawlers, if you think about it.
Yeah, so this is dangerous, right? It's like, so GogojOey, he's making the conscious decision here to go for Corruptors and not Mutas himself, and Corruptors, they do well against Mutas, you're not wrong, but they're also slower. And because there are no spores, it's possible that Demi could try to bypass these Corruptors and try to go for the mineral lines anyway. So we'll see if GogojOey can keep up, as GogojOey is going to get supply blocked, but he's looking to do the same to Demi.
And it's all going to come down to the vision of both of our players. So these are very important pickoffs here for GogojOey, just so that Demi won't be able to keep track of where his Corruptors are. Vice versa is also important. And now, finally, here comes revenge. This hatchery will finally stop bleeding because it dies.
Very smart play here out of GogojOey. I was like, where are the Corruptors going? Oh, they're going for the base. They snipe the 3rd. Demi stuck in a 2-base economy. Doesn't have any gas guys to take advantage of either, so he's going to be falling a little bit behind in the gas income. The Mutas are looking for another way in. The Corruptors are not slowing down, though. They're looking for more Overlords.
I'll see that other third base location is looking very vulnerable here of Demi.
Yeah, exactly. As a lot of overlords are going down. Meanwhile, across the map, the mutas do make their way into the main base, but we have reinforcing corruptors back at home as well. Here comes Roach Army. That's another cancel on the third.
Yeah, huge pickup here for GogojOey. It's a much bigger ground army for Demi, though, so GogojOey will be forced all the way back home. And I'm not sure he actually has enough to deal with it if Demi goes for a big counterattack.
That's the big problem right now, is that GogojOey, he invested a lot into these corruptors. He made how many? 12 corruptors. Yeah, exactly. And that's a lot of gas. It's a lot of minerals. That does mean that his ground army is a little bit smaller, but he's still fighting a lot of overlords. Up.
And even a base. There's just not enough anti here to really deal with it. Sporecrawler going to try to reposition itself. Mutalists come back just as the hatchery falls, so a lot of them actually go down to the corruptors.
Yeah, that was actually really efficient, beautifully timed by GogojOey to snipe the base and snipe the mutas as well. Meanwhile, Demi's forced into a big push. He's hurting back at home. He lost his third, he lost his fourth. He has to break in, but he just can't.
I like this from GogojOey. He didn't make a single Ravager here because he knows that he just needs to defend. He doesn't need corrosive biles. He doesn't need to throw out too many more volleys. He just needs to take whatever damage, whatever punishment Demi can really throw his way.
Is it gonna happen? Is he gonna get it again? No shot.
He can't, right? There's no, he doesn't have enough DPS. He doesn't have enough DPS. He just barely doesn't have enough DPS. I get some massive deja vu light. This hatchery is bleeding out of every wound once again. Out
of every orifice, and we have a hatchery killing hit squad here over on the right hand side. I believe GogojOey is looking to dip in one little sneeze here on the hatchery, and it will topple over, and it does. Oh, he wants the drones first. He wants everything.
And he will get almost everything as the hatchery falls once again. So will this other hatchery, as GogojOey knows that he can't really fight this, but he doesn't really need to. Actually, no, he could fight this if he wanted to. He has a better upgrades. He just needs to get into a better position.
Yeah, he just kites his way backwards, waits for reinforcements. Once again on the right-hand side, he comes in. This time he's going to be losing his flank. He's going to be losing all of his roaches, unfortunately. But again, GogojOey, he's just containing Demi here to a 2-base economy, not allowing these hatcheries to get up and running.
And GogojOey finally kind of pulls the trigger here. He knows he has the better upgrades, and he knows that half of Demi's army was preoccupied on the other side of the map, so I guess a couple of really nice volleys off, a couple of key pickoffs here on the Ravager count.
Yeah, exactly. We have reinforcements heading towards the right-hand side. He's just looking to pull Demi apart right now. The Biles are doing a great job of just buying a little bit of time for Demi. He's able to fight back and force the Roach Army to turn back around, but we can see here towards the south that GogojOey is breaking through.
Yeah, I was going to say GogojOey knows he doesn't need to commit, but he can, and he does, and he wins. GG is called. GogojOey. He'll be taking that series 2-1, becoming a first finalist of the evening. Very impressive stuff we've been seeing from both of our players here. A nice little bit of variety that we're getting, right, in their play styles that we don't normally expect from them, I would say.
Yeah, especially like what we just witnessed, right? We had both players, to be fair, be quite aggressive, Ling Bane, but standard openers, right? Hatch gas pool, you know, third base was on time. It was very standard stuff in the early game, and did even lead to both players going for spires, but we don't get to see corruptors in ZvZ too often. You know, we don't really end up in a Spider-Man situation where both players happen to be going for spires at the same time, and one of them is able to scout the other to have the knowledge and have the wherewithal to go for corruptors. So yeah, a really unique ZvZ and really impressive stuff out of GogojOey to be able to make use of those corruptors, not just to kill overlords, not just to kill mutas, but also to snipe bases.
Yeah, it's one feature that I think a lot of people forget that corruptors have that ability. GogojOey now radioing in on us, saying, "I want to die," after facing Demi 3 games in a row. And you know what? Can't say I blame him too much after the first game, at least. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's definitely gonna be a loss. That I think GogojOey's gonna. I think it's gonna stick with GogojOey for a while.
Yeah. I love that
He
they're
was
bonding.
up 3 or 4 bases for like 20 minutes that game.
I love that they're bonding here. He's like, mate, I want to die, and then Demi's like, yeah.
Let's die together.
Take me out, Puppy. Take me out. GG, well played. As you mentioned, GogojOey is going to be advancing on to the next round, to that to the grand finals. Meanwhile, we have the lower bracket to contend with.